Yesterday, it was announced, at least seemingly, that OnlyFans, a large and growing online platform, effectively an alternative for Patreon that is focused, not exclusively, there's a lot of types of content, but on a variety of different forms of sex work, videos, pictures, all that, is going to be getting rid of that component of its work, at least significantly. Now, we're gonna debate whether this is actually happening. There's a lot of conflicting information out there. But that said, here is something that OnlyFans put out in a statement yesterday saying effective the 1st of October, 2021, OnlyFans will prohibit the posting of any content containing sexually explicit conduct in order to ensure the long-term sustainability of the platform and to continue to host an inclusive community of creators and fans. We must evolve our content guidelines. Now, they did say that they would still allow certain posts containing nudity as long as they adhere to its acceptable use policy. Now, its terms of service currently outline a number of things that are prohibited from its platform, including material involving people under age 18 and other illegal or harmful content. They say they'll be sharing more details in the coming days, but you might have seen also going around responses from like their social media implying that the statement that was put out was not true. So there's a lot of questions. Brett, what do you think about this? Do you think they're actually doing it?
Okay, so there's a lot to this. First of all, the company itself has said, we have not said what this means. And everybody is running to the hills saying.
Seems clear though.
What do they say? No sexually explicit content.
That seems pretty clear.
No, it isn't.
Isn't it?
We're still gonna allow nudity, but no sexually explicit content. Now where are you at?
Confused?
Tell me what that means.
I'm confused.
So it's not a clear statement. If it was a clear statement, you would walk away with it only saying I know exactly what that means.
No, I'm not saying that the entirety of it isn't clear. I'm saying the concerns that many people have, people who make their living on there by doing sexually explicit material, it seems pretty clear that that will be banned. They say that will be banned.
So at that point, what conversation are we left to have? We can't have a conversation about the specific kinds of things that won't be allowed on there, right?
Because we don't know yet, but we speculate.
So where does the line stop? That's something we don't know the answer to yet. So is there someone who's saying, well, actually, this is artful short film? We don't know. And that's why OnlyFans came out and said, we're going to guide our creators through this process. So that's in terms of the specifics and what it affects. We're in a speculating area. And in that speculation, there's plenty to talk about. There's plenty to talk about, which it is very likely that there are people who used to make their money by doing sex acts in person. Now they are selling video of their sex acts on OnlyFans, which was a boon in a time of COVID where you couldn't physically interact with anybody because it was even more dangerous than it already was. All those things are in jeopardy, and that uncertainty now is putting us in a position where we don't know what they're going to do. And all we do know is that it's once again in a place where this taboo subject of sex work, which is incidentally as old as time, and there's irony and hypocrisy in there, is once again, the people who make the laws are still engaging in that activity. And we see those all the time. What are we doing where we're putting it away? Now, there's a middle ground where you keep it away from children. Fine, that's gonna be in there. Why OnlyFans? And the answer is the reason that OnlyFans is now changing their policy is because of money. The people who own it are looking for more investors. And this is another very old dynamic in the online sex industry. PayPal is not gonna take that sex money. They're not. So there's companies like CCBill that exist out there that are just to do the transactions for adult sites because the above board and legitimate companies won't do that. And that has to do with transactions financially. And it also, another category of that is the applications, the apps. So on your phone, you can make an app whenever you want, however you want. But if you want people to be able to download it on Android, you got to go through their shop. If you want to do it on Apple, you got to do through their shop. And they don't want, because of their reputation, this dirty money in there. Now, they'll allow that dirty money to get them to a point where they're now in a position to have certain appealing things about their company that now they're going to forget how they got there and go legit, leaving all these people who got them their success by funding it through the transactions, and they made 20% of all that take. Now the pimp's going legit, and kicking everybody to the curb.
Yeah, including the more than 300 OnlyFans creators reportedly earning at least $1 million annually, 16,000 making at least $50,000 a year in very difficult times. And even aside from the pandemic and its effect on this sort of work, obviously having a platform like OnlyFans has some undeniable inherent benefits in terms of safety, privacy, and all of that as well. Yeah, you're right. I wish we had more time to go into this, but yes, MasterCard and Visa cut ties with Pornhub. Recently, it's speculated that that's part of this as well. I guess feel like some fairly obvious other ways to solve the variety of problems that are a part of this come to mind that wouldn't necessarily not only cast aside all these people that made them what they are, but leave them with a platform that might be more legit. But what's going to be like what's the benefit over Patreon at this point?
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.